Hello, dreamers, and welcome back to Dream Queen by Perla. So, I just decided, I don't know, it just kind of came out of the blue. I was just like, oh, let me do a quick live and see how everybody's doing and see what actually comes up. Um, with everything that is going on, just in general in everyone's life, sometimes it may seem to many, let's put it this way, that you're the only one that is going through something, or you're the only one facing challenges and things like that. So there's definitely this having to have this better understanding that there's, everybody's always going through something, right? And to have a little bit more compassion, especially what I was picking up a lot collectively is not to allow what people are posting, let's put it this way, on their social media and things like that to really get to you or really affect you. A lot of people just post things just for fun. Some people just post venting, right? Because maybe they don't have people to talk to or people that can relate to what it is that they are experiencing at the time. So there's definitely this need to kind of, hold on, guys. There's this need to kind of take a step back and kind of just, again, having that compassion with people just in general, right? The same way when, and this is the funny thing is, like, we tend to, when we get to a certain point or we get to a certain level, we tend to forget that we ourselves were in that position at one point, right? Where everything bothered you. People would post indirect posts on social media or indirect quotes or whatever it is. And we would, at one point or another, why is this ball making so much noise? All right, there we go. At one point or another, we would take it personally, right? And it's like, moving away from that so that you can honestly find that peace within yourself, right? Finding that peace within what it is that you do, what it is that you're doing, whatever it is that your calling is, right? What is it that you're here for? What is your purpose to be on this earth? So there's definitely this this kind of perspective that I feel that a lot of people need to start kind of like looking into it, right? Why is it that if somebody posts something, it bothers you? Or why does, the way somebody chooses to live their life bothers you? Again, yes, it is very easy to get into a space, again, when you're down this journey, where you can see people, let's put it this way, making the same mistakes or going through the same challenges that you yourself have gone through, right? And you kind of just want to grab them and be like, no, do not do that, right? Because you want to help them avoid the pain. You want to help them avoid the disappointment or whatever it is. But again, we are not here to force anybody into believing or into going down a very specific path. We are here to bring guidance, to bring awareness, and to bring the messages as they come forth, right? And I feel that that is kind of where a lot of us that are in the position, let's say like how I am, where we do not just regular readings, but we also do messages, right? Where sometimes we tend to take things a little bit more personal because we feel that there is a greater responsibility on us to help the collective. But if you are in that position, let's put it this way, where you are actively helping the collective in whatever way it is that you're doing it, you always have to remember, you always have to come back to the space where you need to take care of yourself, right? Those that need your help, those that need your advice, those that are willing to, go ahead and listen to advice without criticizing, they will find their way to you, right? And they will find it when it is that they are ready to do so. So I just kind of wanted to just, come on here and tell everybody, like, really just breathe, breathe, because honestly, we, as humans, again, we want to help everybody. And that is a very admirable thing. We want to be there for everybody. We want to help people as they're going through their challenges and things like that. But you have to accept at this point that not everybody's going to want your help. And it's okay, right? And that's the thing, is like, you have to do what you do because you love it, because it's a passion of you, because it's something that it is a part of you, right? When we talk about merging our spirituality with our day-to-day basis, that is something that we are all collectively working towards, right? So I sit here, I make videos. Yes, I want people to get, listen to the videos, watch the videos, get whatever it is that they need to get. But at the end of the day, this is something that I'm passionate about. This is something that I love. So I'm not going to stop making it just because people are not taking their advice. Sooner or later, again, those that need your help or need your advice, they would come towards you and they will seek it. So there's definitely, there's nothing that you're doing specifically, let's put it this way, that is too little, right? Every little thing that we do, and even if you're just helping one person, just know that it has a ripple effect, right? You can help one person who can end up helping 10,000 people or 10 people, and et cetera, et cetera. So when you get to that understanding, how it is that we're all connected, your perception of a life in itself starts to change, right? It is no more about, you and yourself, right? Because that's the thing, is like it gets very confusing at times, right? Because we're here telling you that we are all collective, but then we're also telling you to focus on self-love and self-worth. But if you are part of something, right? If there's one piece of, like, okay, what can we use as an example? I don't even know what to use. Let's use a car, right? So if a piece of the car, right? I don't know much about cars, so I don't know why I chose that. But if there's something in the car that is not working properly, it can start to break down other parts of the car, because either the car is being forceful too much, because there's a problem with the engine, or there's a problem with the battery, whatever the case may be, right? If all the parts of the car are not working together and are not working properly, then the car tends to break down. So if you look at life like that, then your self-worth, your self-love, the self-work that you do on yourself, it is not about being selfish. It is about being the best that you can be, so that when you come together with others, when you are connecting with others, there is just this essence, or this, you want to call it light, you want to call it aura, whatever it is to you personally, that people feel or sense. And then in a way, it kind of allows you to help somebody without you even knowing it. I would years ago post a lot of inspirational quotes, and then I stopped, and without even knowing it, somebody sent me a text, somebody that I hadn't talked to for a very long time. And she goes like, what happened to your text? Like, they are what kept me going every morning, right? And I really didn't realize, or I didn't recognize how much of an impact it really had. Because again, there wasn't a lot of views, there wasn't a lot of people commenting, but there was somebody out there that needed those inspirational quotes every morning to help her get through her day. So again, just because you're not seeing it at the moment doesn't mean that whatever it is that you're doing is not helping anybody, right? And that's kind of like how we have to start looking at things. You have to go out there, be yourself, be the best version of yourself that you can be, regardless of whatever it is that anybody is saying or anybody is thinking. This is your life. You have gone through a lot of challenges, through a lot of trials. And to be honest with you, are you not sick and tired of having to restart, right? Aren't you tired of having to start over? Aren't you tired of feeling like, like things are just going to stay the way that they are? And that's kind of like, in order to achieve something, what is the quote? There's a quote that says, like, in order to achieve something, you never had, I think that's how it goes. In order to achieve something you never had, you have to do something you've never done before. So there's definitely this huge impact, or that, getting out of our comfort zone allows us to achieve more than what we thought we could, right? When you're going through a challenging time, a lot of people tend to feel like it's going to be the end of the world. Like, this is it. Like, there's no coming back from it. But what that teaches you is the strength, the power, and the authority within yourself to get yourself up again and to continue on going, right? So there's definitely this this energy that I'm picking up, that a lot of people during this time are being asked anyways to go towards that self-love and that and when I talk about self-love, it's not about just looking at yourself in the mirror and being like, oh, I love you, right? Those are simple practices that yes, you can do to try to get you to a certain place, right? But this is more about really loving and owning who you are, and that includes all parts of yourself, your shadow side, your light side, whatever it is to you. But there's definitely this needing to accept yourself, because if you don't accept yourself, if you don't love yourself, if you don't respect yourself, then how is it that you can ask someone for something that you are not willing to do for yourself, right? We tend to, as humans, we want our partners to love us, our partners to respect us, our partners to see our worth, our partners to do this, our family to see our greatness, our family to see this. But are you seeing it in yourself? Are you giving yourself that love? Are you giving yourself that respect? Are you giving yourself that worth? And as repetitive as all of that sounds, it is the honest truth. It is where or what we're supposed to be doing during this time. Because when you are able to love yourself unconditionally, right? When you're able to love yourself to the fullest, then you're able to actually give genuine love towards others without having to expect anything back from them, right? Without having to be in this position where I'm going to love you so that you can love me back. And that is kind of like, the what a lot of people are either starting to realize, or a lot of people are looking for during this time. A lot of people are now starting to miss, or have been missing, spending time with their families, doing this and doing things that before they took for granted. And this is kind of like a reset for you to really take advantage of what it is that you have, and those that you have in your life. Because again, and we see it time and time again. And guys, I'm just blabbling, and I know, but this is like what is coming up. But we see it time and time again when people pass away, right? When people pass away, people tend to really go into this desperate type of energy where, oh my God, I miss so and so so much. I regret not doing this. I regret not doing that. But then their patterns or their behaviors do not change with those that are still alive within their lives, right? So last is going to be about a year now, in November, when I lost my paternal grandmother. And a lot of people, reached out to me and asked me, how I was doing and how I dealt with it and all of that. And, how come I wasn't grieving, let's put it this way the world thought I should grieve. But, and the beautiful thing is that between my grandmother and I, we had a beautiful relationship. I would talk to her almost on a daily basis. When I would visit, we would have meaningful conversations and things like that. So when she passed, there was nothing that I felt that I didn't do. There was nothing that I was regretting about my relationship with her, right? Because while she was here, while she was alive, I celebrated her. I lived to to celebrate her, to celebrate everybody in my life. So when she passed, I didn't have that anguish, pain, I guess you can say, because I wasn't regretting anything, because I liked and I loved the relationship we had. So there's definitely this thing where you need to learn to appreciate what you have and those that you have around you, right? Because as with anything in life, you never know when things are going to shift. You never know when things are going to change. Never know when this is going to be the last time you see somebody, regardless of age. We were blessed. My grandmother was 96 when she passed. She lived a very long life. She was surrounded by family and friends. It was amazing. But, not everybody is that fortunate. And we always say that, and even to this day, like when we talk about her, it is so beautiful because nobody is agonizing. Nobody is crying. Nobody is resentful. Nobody is angry. We just talk about her life and we celebrate her life, and we choose to celebrate her life and how it is that we choose to live our life on a day to day, right? I always say she was like the true definition of a divine feminine. My grandmother was an amazing woman, and her spirit still lives with us, like, till this day. And I always say, like, I am so grateful, like, as a child, of course, She used to whoop all of our asses, all of us, including the neighbors' kids. She was a tough cookie, right? She was a very tough lady. But as you grow older, right, and you start to have a different type of relationship with your grandparents or with your parents, you start to realize that it's not about them trying to control you or anything like that. It is about what they have learned, right? And not everybody chooses to change, right? Some people like how it is that they were brought up, and they feel that there's nothing wrong with it. And that's the thing. If it works for you, it works for you. And other people, tend to learn from what it is that we call quote unquote mistakes, which in reality, I like using the word challenges, right? The challenges you face as a child, to kind of break whatever curses or whatever things are upon your family, right? So there's definitely this needing anyways during this time. And of course, I'm not sure if Mercury is retrograde or if it's going retrograde. Don't mind me. But there's something that has to do with Mercury going retrograde if it hasn't already, where then we start to revisit a lot of things from the past, right? And the thing is that we tend to trap ourselves when we believe or we start to assume that people that are coming back from the past, right, are for us to jump back into a relationship with them or to pick things up exactly where they were. Where in reality, we're supposed to be looking at it or going from a place where we're learning the lessons, right? Or we're recognizing the lessons so that we don't have to repeat the same patterns. Now, with that being said, I'm not saying that if you broke up with somebody like, 5 years ago, or whatever, and now they're back in your life, I'm not saying that the relationship is not going to work. There may be a different dynamic, right, within that relationship. You hear stories of people that are apart for years and then they come back and they have the best relationship ever because they decided to go their separate ways when it was meant to. They learned the lessons they needed to learn before coming back together. So again, there's definitely this during this time, I really want everybody to kind of take their time and as hard as it sounds, right, or as cliche as it sounds, really take some time to meditate in regards to what it is that is coming back around, right? Why is it that this is coming back around? Why is this person coming back around? Why are these situations or these patterns or whatever it is, why is it coming back around to you? Have you truly really learned the lesson? Or is there something still there that you're not seeing or you're not realizing, right? So that's pretty much the download that I had where, again, it's like I want to see, and honestly, and this is like from the bottom of my heart, right? I know I keep on looking away from the from the computer. Hi. So I really want to see everybody grow, right? Every single day you have the opportunity, you have the chance to grow, right? To not be stuck in the same place, to not repeat the same patterns, the same cycles, the same thing. And it's like, 10 years go down and you're like, what the heck? Like, I've been down on this like for so long. Hi, Annie. Oh, thank you. So there's definitely, and I talk about this like, on Patreons, I do a weekly thing where we break down, right? We take an oracle card and we break it down, whether it has to do with emotions, whether it has to do with behavior, whatever it is. And we kind of break it down. It's kind of like a little mini type of coaching, right? That I do. And they're very like small, like, a few sentences a day type of thing. But there's definitely this need, right, to start really looking at things from a different perspective. If you go ahead and you look at everything that you see on social media, everything that you see on TV, the movies, the shows, everything is really the same thing, right? It is really the same exact thing. It is about turning people against each other for the most part, anyways. And we have to realize that ourselves, right? What we look like physically really doesn't determine who we are, right? And we have to, especially those out there that have children or in position of teaching children, teachers and things like that. We have to try our best to teach our children, right? How to have compassion for other, right? Realizing that we all come in different colors, different shapes, different everything, right? There's people with disabilities, physical disability that you can see. There's people like myself with disabilities that you can't physically see. And it is about trying our best, really, to be the best versions we can be, so that in that way, those that are coming after us, the generation that is growing up now, has a better chance than we did, right? So that they are not repeating the same type of mistakes or challenges that we ourselves have. And and it's obviously, is a battle that is constantly going to be going on, right? This is not a battle that's ever going to be won or lost. It is about what you yourself choose to do on a day-to-day basis, right? What is it that brings you joy? What is it that brings you happiness? What is it that allows you, or kind of makes you want to wake up in the morning, right? So today alone, I'm sorry, I'm a Tauro rising, Leo with Sun in our Aries, Moon in Gemini. Anyways, well, nothing specific is coming up, sweetie. There's definitely this, just today alone, I had a few phone calls and, text messages and things about, like, people wanting to change their life in a different direction. I do some, I'm dabbling, let's put it this way, on like coaching and stuff like that to kind of help people, like, people that want to start either their own business or people that are trying to figure out where it is that life is going to lead them, right? Or why is it that they're feeling the way that they're feeling? And you're going to start seeing that more and more in the coming days. But, we have to learn, basically, learn to take life one day at a time, right? Yes, everything that we do on a day-to-day basis is helping shape our future. But we have to learn to appreciate, right, where it is that we are now, right? Even if you're not where you want to be, even if you're having a challenging time, learn to appreciate it. Because the minute that you learn to appreciate something, the minute that you are grateful for where it is that you are at, you will quickly see how things are going to start changing for you. So we're going to go ahead and see what cards flew out. So we have number 45, which is Throne. Your potential is endless. A lot of you need to be reminded that you're selling yourself short, right? There are dreams, there are things that you want to accomplish, things that you want to do that in reality, the only reason why you haven't is because you yourself are stopping you, right? You're either saying that you need to have this, or you need to be here, or you need to be with this person, or you need to move here, or you need to move there. You're making up excuses for not starting something. You're making up excuses for not living the life that you want to live. Then we have number 14. Thorns. Weave together the crown you deserve. And I really love this card because when we read in the book about this card, it really talks about how collectively, once you are taking care of yourself, right? Once you go ahead and you finish putting on your crown every day, you go out and you help others do the same thing. And there's definitely this push that a lot of people are having now, that people want to be connected. People want to go ahead and help each other. People want to go ahead and be there for one another. And to me, that has always been a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing when it comes to humanity. How during there goes my speech. We'll blame it on the narcolepsy. During challenging times, it either makes you or breaks you, whether in a romantic connection, whether with family or collectively as humans, we either come closer together or we end up fighting more. Yes, Mazina, they hear you. And then we have number 10, which is the red, and it's forgive, right? There is this need where people need, again, you need to forgive yourself. Anytime that you felt that you were being judgmental, or anytime that you felt that you hurt somebody, or anytime that you hurt yourself, anytime that you put yourself last, anytime that you ignore your intuition, anytime that you ignore yourself, all of that, you need to forgive yourself, right? When we do things, right, that we later on need to forgive, right, ourselves, we're talking about self here, right, is usually because we were unaware of something. There was something that we just didn't know. So why are you going to hold on to something if you didn't know it, right? Like, I can't get mad if I go ahead and I take a math test and I don't know and I don't know any math. Like, well, I don't know any math. It's like, you get a kindergarten student and you're giving him geometry and he's going to fail because he hasn't studied geometry, right? He's still learning the numbers 1 through 10. So there's definitely this need here where you need to learn to forgive yourself. You need to learn to forgive yourself, and you have to realize, or you have to just recognize that your potential is endless. And the longer you wait, or the longer you sit on it, the longer it's going to take you to get to where it is that you want to get to. So we have three cards here. We have the full moon in Libra. A win-win outcome is forecast. Didn't I talk about this? Full moon in Pisces, balance spirituality and practicality, right? Allowing our spirituality to become a part of our day-to-day, right? I don't know, sweetie. Maybe at the end, I usually do pull out cards towards the end. So there's definitely this need where you need to balance your spirituality and your day to day, right? And when we talk about this, I talk about this a lot, just because of the simple fact that a lot of people like to have the two things separate, right? And there's this need where when you allow your spirituality to really be a part of yourself, really be a part of what it is that you do on a day-to-day basis, then it kind of allows the life in general to kind of flow, right? There is no resisting to changes. There is no fighting what it is that's trying to be released, or what it is that's trying to come in. So there's definitely this focus of, if you really, and I've said this again many times before, when you wake up in the morning, before you even get out of bed, before your feet touch the ground, sit up in your bed, and even if it's just 3 breaths, right? Focus and concentrate on inhaling, inhaling all the way in and exhaling all the way out, like literally pushing all the air out. And see how that kind of shifts your energy in the morning. Because I always say, control your breath, control your life, because our breath is life in itself. You're breathing in life. And then we have the waxing moon. The energy is gaining momentum. So again, there's definitely here an energy that allows a lot of you to really get started on something, to really allow something either to propel forward, or allow you to start something where maybe in the past you saw the limitations within doing something, and now you're able to see the possibility in what it is that you want to do. And then let's go ahead and pick out 3 cards from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. All right. So then we have 3 cards here. We have the Sage, be devoted and committed, right? A lot of us want to start something. A lot of us love to start new things, start new projects. But then we quickly learn or lose interest, right? We learn to lose interest. We're taught to lose interest in whatever it is, right? If something doesn't pay off right away, if you don't start to see things increasing, or the outcome that you want, right? Everything has to be instantly with the generations now. So there's definitely an energy where you have to stay committed to whatever it is that you're doing. Whether it is that you want to start your own business, whether it is that you are starting or trying to get committed to workouts. Like right before I jumped on here, I got a text. Well, no, actually, I got a text and then I got a call where somebody was like, well, can I work out with you? And I'm like, well, I work out at 5 a.m. And usually when I say that, people are usually like, oh, that's too early. And I'm like, oh, you asked, right? And, and she was like, I want to work out because I need somebody that stays motivated, or somebody that's going to motivate me. And I'm like, you're more than welcome to, like, we can Zoom and we'll work out together. But at the end of the day, you have to be accountable for yourself, right? You need to be able to that if I can't work out, or if I choose not to work out on a day, let's put it this way, that you're still going to do it, right? So there's definitely this need of finding your why, right? Why is your why for doing whatever it is? Whether it is that you're going to go into a cleanse, whether it is you're going to water fast, are you going to start working out? Are you job hunting? Whatever it is that you're doing, what is your why behind that? And your why always has to come back to self, right? It has to be something that comes from within you, because that is the only way that you're going to continue on pushing forward with something when it is that you feel like giving up. With the arrow, we have surround yourself with protective energy. And with this, we're not talking about, people putting spells on you or witchcraft on you or anything like that. That is not what we're talking about here. Here, we're talking about that what you do again. This is always coming back to basic things, right? What you do on a daily basis is what's going to help protect your energy, right? If you're sitting down and you're in front of a TV 24/7 and all you're doing is eating junk food, then guess what? How are you going to feel the next day, right? This is not rocket science, guys, right? If you're not getting exercise, how are you going to feel? How do you think you're going to tone up? How do you think you're going to lose weight? If you are not reading, right? You want to learn how to do something, right? If you're not reading or studying that material, how are you going to learn, right? Do you think that you're just going to magically wake up one day and it's like, oh, it's here. I know this. I have all this knowledge. So there's definitely little practical things that need to be done during this time. In October, I really love the energy in October. No, I was not born in October, but I usually feel that October's energy usually sets the tone for the rest of for the following year, right? So you still have time. It's only the 14th. So let's go ahead and let's start making new habits in October that you want to see during the next year. And then your last card you have is the Knight. Be brave and honest. There's definitely this space here that we tend to lie to ourselves a lot, right? We tend to give ourselves a lot of white light. Well, and the thing is with that is, if you're not honest with yourself, right? If you don't hold these commitments that you have to yourself, then you're not going to be able to hold any commitments you have to others. You're not going to be able to be honest with others. So again, it's more about shifting that perspective during this month at yourself. What is it that you want to see? What is it that you want to create? What is it that you want to build? And then allow yourself to go for it, right? Because that is when you're going to start seeing changes, guys. All righty. So let me see if there's anything else that wants to pop up for you guys. There's 3 of you on with me right now. And we have number 11, the sun. Paint the sun back into your sky. It's all about you guys. And that's the thing. We get very drawn into readings to see what everybody else is doing, how our exes are doing, how our ex-best friend is doing, et cetera, et cetera. But this has to go back to yourself. And that is really what kind of like the direction that collectively people are heading towards. Alrighty, so we have Miss Das. I'm going ahead and I'm going to pull out one card of each for you. If anybody else would like me to pull some cards, just go ahead and put it in the live chat before I log off. Oh, it's hot in here. I'm like, I need to turn on the fan. So I have the stove going too, so. Alrighty. So Miss Das. It pretty much has the same theme, to be honest with you. So Ms. Das, Annie, your first card is number 8, wings. You never needed those wings to fly. Your second card is the traveler, move in a new direction. And then your third card is the new moon in Aries. It's time to take action. So I'm definitely picking up here this energy of there is either there's either a type of belief system, and this doesn't have to necessarily be religious. This can just be, any type of belief system that needs to be released, right? There's something that you're using as a crutch not to get something started or not to move forward with something. There's definitely here a resisting energy when it comes to something that needs to be let go of. And that's exactly the way that it's coming. It's like it needs to be let go, whether it's a situation or a person specifically. Whatever the situation is for you, it's like it's run its course so there's nothing else to teach you within that energy, and it just has to be released in order to allow new energy and new things to come in. I hope that makes sense. The hesitation and the procrastination needs to stop. And it's like you have more to offer than you give yourself credit, is what I'm really picking up. There is a self-restricting energy that I picked up for you, Annie. You're welcome. If nobody else wants me to pull out any cards for them, then this is it. I'm going to go ahead and log off. I want to go ahead and say thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for all of those that have been subscribing, liking, and sharing the videos, and for all your donations, guys. Take care. Have a good one. Love you all. Mwah. Bye-bye. And we ended. Okay.